Standard B is important for professional development of engineering teachers because it's the pedagogical content knowledge. It is how engineering teachers should teach about the engineering design process or the content of engineering. So there's a series of techniques that teachers can use to really guide their students to make better prototypes and to discuss the trade-offs and evaluate so they can make better designs. It's important for new STEM teachers to differentiate between scientific inquiry and engineering design because we have been teaching scientific inquiry in the high school level. So they come in with that mindset. They need to understand that the scientific inquiry process helps us solve or understand a problem, a cause and effect, a scientific principle. But the engineering design process is a little different, where it helps us solve a problem and build a prototype. That way we can discuss the trade-offs of why one thing's better than the other. We prepare new teachers to teach about engineering design by actually looking at real-world problems. In our classes, we look about things going on in our community. So for example, in our statics class, we might look at why a bridge could collapse. What are the forces on top of it? How does that distribute weight? And then we will ask the teachers to actually build several different bridges. That way they can experience themselves how forces are distributed on a bridge. For pre-service teachers, it's very important that they learn how to scaffold what they're going to teach. So the teaching strategies that we teach our engineering teachers allow them to guide their students through a design process. These are things like forming a team, sticking to timelines, talking about their designs, and then evaluating their designs. Another strategy that we use is to relate problems to a stakeholder. That way, students are accountable for who they are designing for. They can also empathize with the user because they understand that this affects somebody. One strategy at the elementary level might be to introduce a character from a popular TV show, right? So I use Paw Patrol a lot for my designs. And what that allows them to do is design for a first responder. For high school, you might actually want to design for people in the community, right? So you want to pick problems that affect that community and have real people that are going to benefit. We use reflection in the classroom. That way, pre-service teachers can reflect on their own pedagogical content knowledge. It's important that students observe how they teach and also ask each other questions. For example, if students all designed a wind turbine, at the end of the prototype session, we want to stop and talk to our teachers and reflect on what each design did well. Is it adding more wind turbine blades? How does that affect the efficiency of the motor? Or is it creating a twist and bend on the actual blade to get a more efficient design? By reflecting on what led us to our decisions, we can learn about how best to teach about an engineering principle. Engineering content and pedagogical content knowledge differ in this space because engineering content is sort of the design process, the engineering design process that you use to solve a problem. The pedagogical content knowledge is the techniques that teachers use to walk their students through that process. One of the things that's important to emphasize to your teachers is to use culturally responsive teaching techniques. Okay? You want to tie in your problems to something that your students are going to relate to. One of the things that I love to do is to have students design a new bus shelter. Many students in the class take the bus to get around in their neighborhood or with their families. And these are important because we need to be protected from the wind and rain and things like that. So they have to brainstorm, well, what are the important things? What are the forces that are on a bus shelter so it stays stable and it can protect you from the elements? And then what are the features of what people need? Do they need chairs? Do they need visible schedules? Do they need art on the walls? So they start to be able to relate the design to not just engineering, but also to the community. And that works well when you're thinking about your students and where they're from.
Ready to learn more about how your engineering PD can promote engineering content knowledge? Read the full standards and review their rubric on ASEE's Commission for Pre-K-12 Engineering Education website. While you're there, sign up for faculty and teacher-facing events.